welcome back to another recently watched Wednesday, Vampire Edition. So this week, as implied, is going to be all about vampire movies. I have six to talk about, I think. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And if this is your first recently watched, I'm just going to be chatting with you about the movies that I've recently watched and giving you my opinion on them as if we were friends, family, in person, and playing with some makeup. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll stick around and let's get into it. So the first vampire movie we're going to talk about today is The Invitation. This is a 2022 movie. We watched it on, all of these we watched on Netflix. Like all the other times, I will read you the description and then tell you what I thought. So this one is: a young woman is courted and swept off her feet only to realize a gothic conspiracy is afoot. So a young woman who has seemingly lost all of her family, her mother's passed, her father, she has no relatives to speak of. She ends up doing one of the DNA tests, which I have done. It's pretty neat to check out. And on there, you know, you can get matched to people who share similar DNA to you. And she does. And she's contacted rather quickly by a long lost cousin, you know, telling her she came about as part of a black mark on their family because her great-grandmother, her grandmother, got with someone not in their family line and had a baby. And then the father took the child, and that's how they got their separate line of family. So he seems like he's super excited to meet her. He's telling her all these fun things, and she's just happy and excited that she has family, you know, out there. Someone, she's not alone in a sense. And almost right away, he was like, "Hey, one of our cousins is getting married. You should totally come for the wedding." And she's like, "You know, I'm broke. I can't really afford to be traipsing across the pond." And he's like, "Oh no, it's all expenses paid. We'll take care of it. You know, the rest of the family would love to meet you." You know, again, they're illegitimate is not the right word. But he's like, "Yeah, all of our family would love to meet you. I've told them all about you and they just can't wait." And she's like, sure. She goes. And when she gets there, you know, she is in the service industry, so right away, like, she kind of takes up with the service staff, and, you know, the head of the service is kind of rude, which she doesn't appreciate. And then all of a sudden, the host, the home that she is staying at, he meets her, and they kind of have like they kind of hit it off right away. He's handsome, and then he starts to kind of court her in a way. And all the while, they don't tell you who's getting married. You don't meet these people. And I don't want to say much more than that because I don't want to ruin it. It's really good. I really, really, really like it. I'd watch it again. Totally recommend watching it. It's not scary. It is suspenseful. There's a couple they try to give you some jump scares. But overall, like, it was just really good. A different kind of vampire telling. I enjoyed it, like, thoroughly. One of the better vampire movies as of late. Next one is one that I was super surprised by, and it is Morbius. This one stars Jared Leto, and I like him. I think he's a good actor, especially after I watched him in the Dallas Buyers Club. He's a good actor. But this one, I had heard, like, talkings and seen tidbits online that it wasn't good. I don't recall exactly why they were saying it wasn't good. I think it had something to do with him, but I really liked it. So let me just read the description to you. Biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism instead. This is a Marvel movie, which I love Marvel movies. I watch them all. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it up until I started hearing all the negative talk about it. So basically, the description is pretty much the gist of it. The movie, Morbius forms a relationship with a boy in a hospital. They share the same kind of blood disorder, blood disease, and Morbius goes on to become like a research biochemist, and he's looking for a cure for their disease, which he ends up finding through this form of vampirism. But he knows it's bad, and you know it's a bad thing. It's not good. It's not a good cure. So when he tells his friend about it, his friend is really ticked off that he won't share the cure for him with him. Like, he won't give him the answer. He doesn't really care what the consequences are. He just doesn't want to live in this, you know, debilitating state anymore. He wants a full life, and this cure is the answer. So he basically steals the cure, and then the movie is them two basically fighting it out, and him trying to be like, no, you can't have it. And it's really good. I don't want to give it all away, but it is good. It was much better than I thought, and my husband enjoyed it too. If you like Marvel movies, I'd say just give it a go. If you like vampire movies, give it a go, because again, it's a different kind of telling. Like I said, I didn't know this was a Marvel movie or anything until like it, you know, came out. I like the Marvel movies. I'm not into the comic books and stuff, so I don't know who's who, unless I watch the films. But I really liked this one. I loved the story. I think the action was good. I think it played out really nicely, not too overdone. And you know, like all Marvel movies, there's a little scene at the end that keeps you wanting more. So I'm really excited to continue to see where this series goes. I hope it is going. I recommend totally. I think it's a good one to add to the watch list. Okay, and this one, this is Day Shift. This one has Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco in it. And I wasn't sure. I think Jamie Foxx is funny, and I think Dave Franco, he can be funny too. This is just one I wasn't really sure about, because it is a comedy, but it's also a vampire movie, so those two things don't really mix in my mind. This is an exception, because it's great. So a dad wants to provide a good life for his daughter, and his job is hunting and killing vampires, which he masks as a pool cleaning business. So like right off the rip, he's like killing this lady vampire who is super duper fast and intense, but it's funny, like, because she's an old lady, and in the film, vampire hunting is sort of an underground, like, club, I guess you would call it. And you can, like, get money for killing these vampires. But to get the most money, you need to be a part of this group. I don't really know, a fraction of vampire killers that are kind of sanctioned, I guess is the word. Which he was previously a part of, but he got kicked out because he don't follow the rules. So he wants back in, you know, so he can get more money for these vampires that he's killing. But the head guy's like, no way, Jose, you fuck up too much. Well, you can't be in here. So he begs him, and you know, he gives him his story, and then he's like, okay, you can be a part of it, but you have to have a person go along with you, like an HR person who knows all the rules and what you're supposed to do and whatnot, which is played by Dave Franco. And he's not a field guy, you know, he's not out here killing vampires, so it's funny, like, watching him, like, be a part of the action. He doesn't handle it the best, but overall, it's really funny. A lot of great laughs, good vampires, but it also goes by really fast. Like, it's not drawn out, you know what I mean? It's not like, can we get on with the show, which I have a problem with. it was really just funny and a good watch, like a good, easy to watch comedy. It's not one like super dramatic or anything like that. It's just really, it's a good laugh. It's a good time. I totally recommend. And Dave Franco, like some of the little squeals and stuff he does just gets me. Like, just, it kills me. I can't handle it. But yeah, it's a really, really good one. Next up we have Night Teeth, which is a newer one on Netflix. It's got a girl from Nickelodeon whose name I cannot think of right now, and I did not put it in my notes. But you'll recognize her if you're a Nickelodeon person, and you grew up with her. At least I'm pretty sure it's Nickelodeon. Was it Disney? One of the two. So this one, a young driver picks up two mysterious women for a night of party hopping, but when his passengers reveal their true nature, he must fight to stay alive. So, this is a good one. A young man who is looking to earn some extra money, and his brother does like Uber driving, but like, you know, fancier Uber driving. He it's like, hey, you can't do it, so I will. Let me, please. I need some extra money. He's like, he's reluctant, you know. He's like, no. You can't even drive it or whatever. And he's like, come on, I can do it. I promise. So he agrees. Well, he goes and he picks up these two young-looking women from this home, and you know, they are kind of snooty and whatnot, and this is his first time doing this driving business, so he's like, okay, whatever. He's like, I'm just here trying to make a buck. But one of the girls kind of like catches his eye, I guess, and she kind of catches his, or he catches her eye. But they like give him a list of these places they need to go, and that they have to be back by dawn. It's very important. So, he has no idea that they're vampires. That's like given, if you watch the trailer. The two girls are vampires, and they're working on a bigger plan. It's more than just, you know, going out to party and stuff. So they're doing some things, and he is all the while posing as his brother, so they think that he is the brother, and the brother is a part of their plan. So some things happen. I can't tell you. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was good. It was a really good one. I don't normally comment on soundtracks or things like that. You know, I like a movie to have decent music as well as the next person, but it's not really something I ever comment on or really, like, I guess, pay attention to. But this soundtrack was awesome. It was a banger, as the children say. It was really, like, upbeat, like, dancey music that I would find on my own to put into a playlist, like that type of music. Really liked it, and the overall vibe of the movie wasn't, again, it's not like super scary. It's not a scary movie. It was a bit of a thriller, I guess you could say. Action, comedy, a little bit of that all swirled in one. Not much comedy, but you know, there were comedic moments. But it was altogether really good. It progressed smoothly. There was no like jumping around like, hey, why are we here? What just happened, you know? And I didn't come away with any questions like, well, why did they do this? Or I don't understand what happened here, you know? None of that. It was just a smooth, easy to follow movie. Yeah, I recommend it to anyone. It was a good watch. Again, it wasn't scary. I don't recall any super inappropriate scenes. If you are watching it in a house with children, it was good overall. Listen, those ones, the first ones are ones I've seen. I was like, these next two, I purely watched to talk about today. I didn't feel like those were enough, so I just wanted a couple more to talk about. Oh boy. So the first one is, and I had seen this on Netflix like advertised, you know, quite a bit, And I had a few times like thought about, you know, hitting the button and playing. But then I was like, no, you know, something about it. Well, I finally did it. Oh boy. I don't know if I said already. This is Blood Red Sky. So, a woman with a mysterious illness is forced into action when a group of terrorists attempt to hijack a transatlantic overnight flight. So the movie starts, and you're kind of like led to believe that maybe she has like cancer or, you know, a disease of that sort, because it shows her looking in the mirror, looking all sickly, and she's bald and things like that. So just, you know, that's just how it's portrayed. So first I need to tell you it's dubbed. It is a dubbed movie, which I automatically do not like dubbed films. But I do have to say it was one of the better dubbed movies that I've ever seen. Like, it was a little bit hard to even catch the dubs at times, but it is dubbed. The vampire effects were really good. I like the way these vampires look. They're like kind of Nosferatu vampire looking, really creepy. But anyways, so this mother and son, they board this flight. They're headed to New York to see a blood doctor, like a specialist. So again, it's kind of leading you to believe that she has one of those other types of diseases. And while they're on the plane, it gets hijacked by a group of men who are basically trying to cause a ruckus like 9/11 and cause the stock market and things to drop, and so they can take advantage of it. So their plan is to hijack the plane, put it on autopilot, and then jump out and have it be shot down over London. All seems to be going, you know, according to their plan. And the woman's like, she takes some sort of medicine to, I guess, calm down her vampirism. And it all seems good, going good. But then her little boy, who's pretty smart, he's like, hey, we can go hide down here in the bottom. And she's like, no, no, no. No, he just decides he's just going to take off on his own, and she chases after him, and then she gets shot. So, you know, everybody thinks she's dead, and that's that. Obviously, she's a vampire. She's not dead. Okay, I feel like if it had a better budget, maybe a different director or something, I don't know. The actual plot and like, yeah, the actual plot and storyline itself wasn't that bad. Like, I can see where they're going, and that's never been done before, and, you know, that would have made a good story. It was just not done up to par, you know? It was little Netflix original feeling, which, again, I've mentioned before, I don't really like Netflix originals or any other platform originals, but I've been trying them, and I've been pleasantly surprised by some, but this one is just not one of them. I don't recommend watching, really. I really just don't. The last movie that I just watched earlier today, again, for the sake of filming this, I wanted to have more options to tell you about. It's called He Never Died. Oh boy. So this one, I can't even tell you. It's so bad. The description. A reclusive immortal who needs human flesh but tries to stay clean finds himself cast back into society by a gang of thugs and his estranged daughter. This is just a hard pass, okay? It's a no. It's literally so boring. The acting left so much to be desired. And the description was like, it's a horror comedy, vampire horror comedy. The comedy was not funny enough to be a comedy. Like, I know the parts that they were aiming for comedy, but it just doesn't come across. And the horror part, this is not horror at all. The action scenes were awful. I mean, all action scenes are choreographed, but this one was like really choreographed, like, and they weren't very good at it. It was only an hour and a half long, but I swear it felt like an absolute eternity while I was watching it, and I could not wait to turn it off. And I kept thinking, like, I'm just going to turn it off. I mean, you know, I'm just going to turn it off. But I was like, no, just finish it out and see how it ends. Maybe it'll get better. No, it don't. It does not get better at all. Just don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Like the last one, if you're in a pinch, you know, you have nothing else to watch, maybe give it a go. This one, don't waste your time. It's awful. My husband, he said he knew who the main actor was, that he's been in a lot of TV shows. I mean, he kind of had a familiar face to me, but I don't recognize him. I don't know his name. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's Recently Watched Vampire Edition. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to come back next week because I just watched a movie today. Can't wait to tell you about. It's a 100% recommend. So give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you're watching. Is there another vampire movie on a different platform that you would suggest I watch or recommend? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.